Hello, my name is Galina Kurdina. I live in Toronto, Ontario, and I am a victim of psychotronic mind control weapons. Today I have read an article, US Diplomats and Spies Battle Trump Administration over Suspected Attacks. This article was published in New York Times. I tried to post my comment under this article, but unfortunately comments were closed and they offered to send a letter to New York Times directly. So I would like to read this letter. Dear Sir, Madam, New York Times posted an article about attacks on American and Canadian diplomats in Cuba and China. Your concern and care about these victims is important. Thank you. But why do you keep silence about the even more heinous, terrible, and appalling experiments that Canadian and American governments carry out on their citizens without their informed consent by means of psychotronic technologies on Canadian and American soil? Psychotronic means remote mind and body control, well known bidirectional brain-machine or brain-computer interface, BCI, that allows computers and other special equipment to influence and write into a human brain is actually the psychotronic weapon. You can find hundreds of articles in scientific journals and mainstream media about different projects that create psychotronic technologies. Create in quotes. DARPA finances researchers in 15 American laboratories, including Rice and Brown universities, in order to develop devices that read mind and write into it. Scientists in Brown University aim to develop a cortical intranet of tens of thousands of very small wireless chips that can be implanted onto or into the human cerebral cortex, the outer layer of the brain. The implants, so-called neurograins, will operate independently, interfacing with the brain at the level of a single neuron. The system will be designed to have both readout and write-in capabilities. It will be able to record neural activity and will also have the capability to stimulate it through tiny electrical pulses. Rice University got a grant of 18 million American dollars for the project. Brown University, 19 million for this purpose. Just tens, not hundreds or thousands, but tens, researchers are involved in these projects that take around 4 years and will be ready in approximately 2022. This information means that these scientists are actually washing ready, dirty military technologies, because these technologies are very expensive, cost tens and hundreds of billions, not millions dollars, have taken efforts of hundreds or even thousands, not tens of scientists for many decades, not years. Sorry for my forced speech. Perpetrators tried to stop my speech. So one more time, this information means that these scientists are actually washing ready, dirty military technologies, because these technologies are very expensive, cost tens or hundreds of billions, not millions dollars, have taken efforts of hundreds or even thousands, not tens, of scientists for many decades, not years. This psychotronic equipment and special computer programs, artificial intelligence, have been created, developed, and perfected for decades on human subjects, including involuntary human subjects who have never ever given their informed consent to be guinea pigs in these classified military experiments. Targeted individuals are people who claim that they are these involuntary human subjects who were or still are used in this fascist mind control experimentation. Canadian, American, and other governments tried to convince that they stopped these mind control experiments on involuntary human subjects years ago. But it is hard to believe governments that have a long history of criminal classified experimentation on human beings without their informed consent, and reject testimonies of thousands and thousands of innocent civilian people, targeted individuals, used against their will by criminals to create, debug, and perfect psychotronic weapons. Now, these military psychotronic technologies are being transferred to civilian industry, for example, to Neuralink company of Elon Musk. Elon Musk didn't invent a robot that drills holes in human skulls and inserts electrodes. DARPA gave him the well-tested and debugged robot and all the rest. He simply hires specialists from DARPA and other military organizations and washes dirty military technologies. Now, I would like to read this DARPA tweet that was posted on, okay, sorry, I cannot find it, but most likely, I will put a link so you will find, most likely last year. So DARPA posts, we are excited to see progress being made Neuralink on new neural interface stack. The sewing machine robot for placing electrodes was developed by University San Francisco with DARPA funds. This type of transition from government to industry shows how DARPA creates opportunity by removing technical risk. So DARPA says that it just developed its contractor or subcontractor, University of San Francisco, developed this robot for DARPA with DARPA funds. The same information was posted by Massachusetts MIT, Massachusetts Information Technology Institute. I will put a link to this article as well. So, MIT Technology Review. The sewing robot Neuralink says it developed a neurosurgery robot that automatically inserts the fine electrode threads into the brain at precise locations, avoiding blood vessels at a rate of 6 per minute. It's a cool robot, and it took a lot of work. But did it require a new invention like a transistor? The answer is no. Yesterday, the defense funding agency DARPA sniffed on Twitter that they had funded the initial development of the sewing robot that Neuralink presented as its own idea. MIT says initial, but DARPA says that it created, University of San Francisco created, and transferred to Neuralink. So you will see this, DARPA posted it in July last year, 2019. Next, DARPA researchers have been scooped up by companies including Alphabet, the parent company of Google, neurotechnology company Kernel, Neuralink, Facebook, and others. I would like to read an excerpt from an article. I will put a link to this article in mainstream media. This is newspaper The Atlantic. Over time, DARPA has become something of a farm team for Silicon Valley. Regina Dugan, who was appointed DARPA director by President Barack Obama, went on to head Google's Advanced Technology and Projects Group, and other former DARPA officials went to work for her there. She then led R&D for the analogous group at Facebook called Building 8. She has since left Facebook. DARPA neurotechnology research has been affected in recent years by corporate poaching. Doug Weber told me that some DARPA researchers have been scooped up by companies including Verily, the life science division of Alphabet, the parent company of Google, which in partnership with the British pharmaceutical GlaxoSmithKline created a company called Galvani Bioelectronics to bring neuromodulation devices to market. Galvani calls its business bioelectric medicine, which conveys an aura of warmth and trustworthiness. Ted Berger, a University of Southern California biomedical engineer who collaborated with the Wake Forest researchers on their studies of memory transfer in rats, worked as the chief science officer at the neurotechnological company Kernel, which plans to build advanced neural interfaces to treat disease and dysfunction, illuminate the mechanisms of intelligence and extend cognition. Illuminate the mechanisms of intelligence and extend cognition. Elon Musk has courted DARPA researchers to join his company Neuralink, which is said to be developing an interface known as neural lace. Facebook's Building 8, a department of Facebook, is working on a neural interface too. In 2017, Regina Dugan said that 60 engineers were at work on a system with the goal of allowing users to type 100 words a minute directly from your brain. Directly from your brain in quotes. Sorry if I pronounced somebody's names incorrect. I apologize for this. So after that, I wrote to New York Times. You can read articles on these subjects on website organizationofmindcontrolvictims.com. Are DARPA and other government institutions in Canada and United States of America going to stop these fascist, heinous experiments on involuntary human subjects and compensate their suffering, losses, and damage? Will be criminals who tortured innocent civilian people in the horrible experiments brought to justice? Sincerely, Galina Kurdina. I hope that they will read this letter and maybe, I don't know, start some investigation or even ask questions. Okay, thank you. I wish you all the best. Bye.